This is only part of the original 1964. This is the very first episode that they did, Creature from the Black Lagoon. And this is before they called Epow Epow. It was just the guest.
The two characters on Monster Movie Matinee were Epow and Dr. Whitty. Dr. Whitty was our kind host, and Epow was his subject, actually.
Things like stage names and so on, how they got them was always interesting in the movies. Some of them had little stories that went along with it, but this is how they created their stage names. And I had fiddled with it, just having nothing better to do for years. And one of the things that I noticed at one point was iniquity. It was I don't know why, it was a fascinating word. And so when it came time for me to come up with a name for the program, Dr. E. Nick Whitty. And that's when it's said like that, you don't make the connection until you've thought about it for a while. And iniquity is not a good thing.
Dr. E. Nick Whitty, he liked that name, and I didn't know what to do, so I just said Epow, and just spelled my name backwards, and it's like an Igor type of character. Originally I had a hunchback, which Dr. Whitty eventually operated on, and he failed a few times, naturally.
And the doctor was an early tack on, simply because you have to have a doctor if you're going to do horrible things to people. And all of the good horror movies had a doctor somewhere along the line.
Come in, come in, come. Come in, don't be shy. I'm sure our host will bid you welcome.
Who is it, Epow?
Dr. Whitty's face was never seen on screen. And that was probably one of the most effective things they could have done, because they never could have created these grotesque images of what his visage must have been if they tried to duplicate it with makeup.
So from that we just determined that that's all they'd ever see would be the hand. Made it easy to make up, easy to do.
He was always off camera, or you would see just the back of his head, his arm, his hand, and you always had to conjure in your mind, was he hideous looking, or so yeah, it added to the mystique.
He was supposedly so terrible to look at. That's part of the script, part of what he was trying to create. You couldn't look at him. He was just too ugly, too frightening to look at. So you saw his adorned hand with all those fancy rings and nails. That was Dr. E. Nick Whitty, Iniquity.
And then to have Epaw always, he kind of just made the whole thing. Must have been like maybe the fourth day that I had worked here. I went into the men's dressing room downstairs, and Bill Lape was putting on his Epaw stuff. He was making the nose out of the nose putty, and he had the scars on it. Blew me away. It was like, oh man, and these are my heroes, and I'm working with these guys.
I think what was great about that show too was how sincere the hosts were about being involved in it. A lot of those horror film host segments around the country were very tongue-in-cheek, very humor-filled. It was all a big joke. Alan Milair and Will Lape were totally invested in Dr. Whitty and Epaw. They were in the same universe that Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney and Bela Lugosi were. They bought it. They gave their all to being these characters, and they spent hours writing up scripts and preparing sets from nowhere.